Inject 8 units. Milliliters. Milligrams. Milliliters. Milligrams. Millimeters? Milliliters? This might be my last stream. So when did you first connect with me? It was kind of recently, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was early January. Well, it was early January.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I finally got to the point of I've been building the app with PocketBased in mind. You know, being able to get the thing up and running so fast with the PocketBased. So when it then came to me making the decision of where am I going to host it, I'd already created an account with Pocket Host prior to the paywall, but it was around the time of the paywall we probably had started communicating. Actually, yes,
Yeah.
it was around then. So yeah, I created an account, and within about 10 minutes had the thing connected up to, essentially a pre-production database, running it locally, talking to the Pocket Host database, and then half an hour later, I had it deployed to Cloudflare Pages. Like the whole process was just seamless, like incredibly easy. And I come from a background where you're using Azure, at work we use a self-hosted version of Azure, and it's work to get stuff, to get the pipelines all set up, and this was not. This was just chef's kiss.
Yeah, right. I mean, and Cloudflare Pages is fantastic, by the way. I don't know how many people know about it, but yeah, I mean,
my options were kind of Cloudflare Pages, GitHub Pages, or Azure Static Web Apps. And I do get a subscription with Azure through work that I get loads of free credits that I could use. So that was my first port of call, and I thought, that's what I'm going to use. And then I bought the domain through Cloudflare, and I thought, well, why don't I can press one button and deploy it right now. How about I do that? And I did, and haven't looked back.
Yeah, I have used Cloudflare Pages for a lot of projects, and it's just so fast, so responsive. Here, I'm going to jump into Discord and say, hey, everyone. I'm just going to blast everyone in Discord.
Yeah, sounds good.
I've got Piers on live with dosediary.app. Jump in. All right. Yeah, I'm going to send that to the entire Discord chat channel.
Yeah, no, everyone in there is great. I've had a great time chatting to people. It's a good community you've fostered.
I've got to say, it's my favorite community I've ever been involved in, and everybody's just so supportive, so friendly. I've only had to kick a couple people out over the.
You always get the odd person that you have to do that with, but if the vast majority are great people, it's fine.
Yeah. There only a couple situations come to mind where, I want people to speak their minds and everything, but also I want it to be a positive and encouraging environment. I like to keep it that way. So there have been just a few people where I couldn't convince them to adopt the culture.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, but otherwise, it's been great. So, all right. So you're a relative newcomer to Pocket Host. You've been watching PocketBased for a while. Did you learn about PocketBased through Fireship like all of us did, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it also it was through Fireship, but I'd started playing with Superbase first, and Firebase actually. played with them first, made a couple of little Blazor projects. Some of them were actually on my. I think I did a Firebase auth demo in Blazor on my GitHub, and I think that's one of my pinned ones. So yeah, did that, and then had a look at Superbase because I thought, okay, well, maybe I could not use Google, and it's the same kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw things about, the thing that pulls a lot of people is the real time stuff with the databases. Now that's fine, but it wasn't necessarily my pull. So as soon as I saw another thing that is, you can run it on an Xe on your own machine, and within seconds you're up, that pulled me in immediately because I like a lot of other devs, I'm lazy. I like things that make my life easier, and that sure as hell did.
You're talking about PocketBased?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eventually, then got to PocketBased after looking at Firebase, Superbase, and then some of the videos by Early Morning Dev, got pulled in through that as well. So.
Yeah. This guy's cool. I was on his thing.
Yes.
There I am, like a month ago. Yeah. I'm trying to return the favor to him and get him to come on this stream, because I got to tell my whole story, but he didn't get to tell his story very much.
Yes.
So I want to give him an opportunity to do that. But yeah. He's been a great contributor to the community. I'm chasing after him, building my YouTube channel. So I use him for a lot of inspiration. I think his thumbnails are a lot cleaner than mine. He's just got his presentation is much cleaner. And I'm just getting into all the YouTube channel building stuff. So I pay a lot of attention.
You got to start somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
and go on.
Oh, my technique kind of in life is to fail forward. So I just keep creating more videos, and I try to pick one thing to do a little better in each video. So at some point I'll catch up. But yeah, Ghani's he figured out this marketing, open source, real-time backend in one file. Like that gets pretty much every developer's attention. Even though it's funny, it's not really one file. It never was just one file. And especially now with, the JS hooks and stuff, there's almost never just the binary anymore. But man, it's good marketing. So
it's not far from it. It's not far from one file, really. When you compare it to, with work, it's SQL Server Management Studio. We use the whole hog. It's this is so different in comparison. But it's just been so fun. Like, it's one of those things that you find something like that, and then you get hooked, and then you don't want to stop development work, and you make everything else in life seems to suffer. Yeah.
So, are you using .NET at work as well?
Yes. Yeah. So I work for a local authority in the UK. So that's like a council, or I don't know what would be equivalent in America. It's like a city council, I guess, but regional.
Well, and we're in governmental chaos right now over here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's the kind of thing that's probably coming in our future. We're not too far away from the US in terms of following along. So so it's all .NET stuff. A lot of it is old .NET stuff, really old. Like we're talking web forms and MVC, but pre .NET core MVC. So web framework.
Yeah.
And so when I joined the team, I kind of pushed, because we had a big project coming out, I kind of pushed for Blazor just come out. This was about a year or so after Blazor had come out. Let's try and, with some new projects, maybe not the big ones, and for some reason I did push the big one. We had a whole new website come along, and we built it in Blazor Server. I'll get into Blazor Server in a bit. But yeah, we haven't looked back really. It's very, you can build stuff very fast, and you get a lot of different permutations of what you can build with Blazor. So you essentially, there's two main flavors. There's WebAssembly, and then there's server. So server is everything happens on the server, and there's a WebSocket connection between the client and the server, and everything is streamed to the device. All user interaction happens on the server. It's all streamed. That's really great and easy to get going, and you can build projects really quickly. But there is more geared towards internal applications, so CRMs, CMSs, things that you want to run internally, not externally, simply because of how much resources that takes up. Having that WebSocket connection is pretty expensive. If you've got slow bandwidth devices, you can get disconnects and things like that. So that's where the WebAssembly comes in. WebAssembly is the opposite. Everything happens on the client device. You download the binary, the .NET binary is downloaded, and everything is executed on the device. Recently, as of .NET 8, they've come out with another flavor, which is the two combined. You can have a site which, when you first visit it, it's the server connection. And while you have that interactivity nice and fast with the server connection, the binary is downloaded in the background. And the next time you come to the site, it's running on your device, but not from the server. So, yeah, Microsoft's doing a lot. And I think a lot of people sleep on it because it's Microsoft and, they're the big bad guys.
I bailed out of Microsoft back when it was still ASP.NET. They didn't even have their MVC out yet. And
exactly. Exactly. A lot of people did.
Yeah, and I remember, what did they have? It was called the View State. Yeah, I remember View State way back in the day.
Yep.
And I thought View State was awesome. I thought that was the way everything was going to go. But yeah, I don't know. Then I got pushed over to, I think it was Node.js after that. And I had kind of been living there ever since, using, just the whole Node stack and ecosystem. But now I'm kind of all in on the Pocket ecosystem right now.
And Svelte.
Yeah, well, yeah, I was using Svelte, but now I've kind of moved away from that back to more just very thin front ends, like using Alpine.js or Van.js or HTMX.
Yep. HTMX is doing some interesting stuff. In fact, they've got there's an HTMX wrapper for Blazor, so you can use it in that. And one of the other things I didn't really mention is the thing that gives the attraction to Blazor is you don't have to do any JavaScript at all. You can interface with it through an interop if you want, but you can call the JavaScript from C# code, your Razor code, and your backend code, all one language.
That makes me suspicious. Microsoft likes to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's hard for me to trust it, because at some point I'm going to want to eject out of that. And they make that really difficult, or at least they did back. Okay, see, this is my knowledge of Microsoft products is probably almost 20 years out of date now. I really haven't looked at it much. But back then, Visual Studio had all of this code gen that it was doing. And if you tried to eject out of that code gen, you were just in a world of complexity. Time. Yeah. So anytime somebody says like, oh, I made a meta language that compiles to JavaScript, it's like, whoa. I mean, TypeScript is the only one I've seen that like truly successfully does that. But you're saying, so what? It's C#? Is that?
Yeah, everything. So the Razor front end is all C#. You just call your C# code in your Razor components,
and it's got like you can reference DOM elements and things like that. It's got a whole DOM API.
Yep.
Let's jump into your code a little bit. So okay, you sent me some of this Razor code. So like, put me in somewhere where I can see some C# working. Like, would it be this one? Like,
if you would go in components, go into components. I'll pick not simple. Oh yeah, components, and then dashboard folder, and then average losses. It's probably a good one.
Okay, so the Razor files are the front end files.
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
but they can be components or they can be pages if you have a page directive at the top.
Sure.
So you can go, well, this is at forward slash, whatever you want to call it. Or you can have a component which you can then also reference in the Razor. So you
Yeah.
essentially build the structure up, but the components are designed to be reusable, or at least, if you were to take them and put them in a class library, you could reuse them in other projects very easily. You pass the parameters in, it does whatever it needs to do, displays. But all the code that, like you can see there, you can separate it out. You can have a
Uh-huh.
Razor and a C# file. You can have a backend code file for the same file, or you can have it all in one, like what you're seeing there.
Interesting. Okay, so this is obviously C# that I'm looking at here, even though,
Yep.
I mean, syntactically, it almost is JavaScript, but I can see it's strongly typed here. It actually looks a lot like TypeScript, but which isn't a surprise because I think the same guy made C# and TypeScript, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
all right, and so then this cross compiles into JavaScript, and how is the debugging experience of that? I imagine it's pretty good.
In
Microsoft is usually
it,
pretty good about that.
in WASM, it's not so great because everything's happening on the client device, and none of it really the code will throw errors and it will all go into the console with WASM. But if you're doing it on Blazor server, you get it'll line break wherever you want it. Whenever anything goes wrong, it'll break on that line and show you exactly. It's great. It is a great experience. But WASM's a bit more complicated because none of it's getting sent back to the to Visual
Oh,
Studio.
so this is building into WASM, it's not cross compiling into
Yes, this
JavaScript.
is a WASM. Yeah, so this is a
Oh,
WebAssembly application. Yeah,
okay. Okay. Hmm. Right. And they probably have like WASM source maps or something. So if you do get an exception,
yeah,
it gives you, yeah.
yeah.
All right. That's cool.
It'll tell you what's gone wrong, but it'll be
Uh-huh.
in the console. It won't be, or in the output window of Visual Studio. It won't then go to the line where it went wrong.
Yeah.
Whereas it'll do that in Blazor server.
Well, somebody was saying that PocketBased should build in a WASM interpreter, not just Goja, right? But WASM, so then you can use any language you want, in theory,
In
to make
theory,
your hooks. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You could make your hooks in any language then.
Yeah, I'm curious. I'm sure.
So
I'm sure Golang has a WASM. Let's see here. Golang and WASM. Yeah, WebAssembly. I don't know. I don't know if they have like a. They have to. So I'm not familiar enough with Go, but there has to be some kind of WASM interpreter type thing for Go.
yeah,
Here's WASM or Go, WebAssembly runtime for Go. Here we go. Yeah, 3K stars updated 3 weeks ago. This is probably one of the front runners here. Yeah, so you could put a WASM engine right in PocketBase, and then
that would be cool.
use whatever language you wanted. Yeah,
And then I wouldn't have to write any JavaScript. There is a bit in here. You can't completely avoid it, but I think that's one of the pulls for a lot of C# devs is a lot of them are developers who have a lot of experience with the business logic and back end code, because that's where a lot of it is. But Blazor can pull those devs and make them do front end stuff too, which is pretty crazy.
Right. Yeah,
especially when with some of the component libraries that are available for Blazor. There's Sync Fusion, Mud Blazor. There's Radson. There's loads of them to mention. You just you just reference the component library, and then start referencing the components, and you have all the functionality you need. You don't have to go build a drop-down list or anything like that. It's just done.
Yeah, that's really. It sounds very like the .NET sort of ecosystem and culture that I
Microsoft
remember.
has their own one. They've got, I think they call it Fluent UI. They've got a Fluent UI Blazor package that has all the components that makes everything look Microsoft.
Right. Yeah. That's cool. Well, I'm glad to hear that Microsoft is still still out there, in the web game. Yeah, I just haven't
They're
had
trying
much
to compete.
contact with it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
I got away from it and just haven't circled back for whatever reason. But I mean, I used to be deep into .NET. I used that was the only thing I ever reached for because it had, like, for example, the system namespace was so complete compared to other web stacks.
Yep.
You like it was just .NET was so well thought out and thorough and organized and
Yeah.
documented. It was very rare to find any documentation errors or anything like that, and so like very, very clean. And then
Yeah. And then
by
there was a
comparison,
doldrums. There was just this period of time where it was just everyone was like, nah.
yeah, and then when I got into the Node.js ecosystem, like Node packages are a mess. It's because it's all community driven. So
Yeah.
you never know what you're going to get when you download somebody's package and install it. And maybe it's better than rolling your own. But lately, I've even done more. I'll find a package and I'll find the GitHub repo and just pull some of the code that I actually want rather than messing with their
Yeah.
package.
Yeah.
I'd almost rather take ownership of the code because I end up patching and forking so many packages that I pull in. And I don't know if that's got to do with my development process or what, but it's just there are these holes in it, and I end up having to, make these patches, and I didn't do nearly as much of that with .NET back in the day. So I did like that about .NET. So it's interesting that you're using it, and I mean it makes sense if you're using it at work. It's what you're familiar with, and
yes, exactly.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's still very robust and complete, and you get to play with WASM too. That's cool.
Yes, yeah,
How
cool.
do you like WASM?
They've got some interesting things going on. I think with I might circle back to this in a bit when I talk about the roadmap of what's going to come next for Dose Diary. I know we haven't launched it yet, but I do have a roadmap. They're trying to go cross compatible too. They've got a thing out called Maui, which is their framework for operating the same code on all devices, kind of like what they were doing with Xamarin Forms and things like that about 10 years ago. And well, it essentially means that I could put my WASM app in a Maui wrapper and launch it on mobile devices on the various app stores with changing very little code, probably less than 20 lines. Anything that I'd have to change would be ripping out payment providers and stuff like that.
So let's see. Take me to Maui. Where would I find out about that?
If you just put in .NET Maui, I think you'd get
multi-platform.
Yes, that's it.
Multi-platform UI Maui. Oh boy, yeah. So again, it's more of that cross-platform stuff that I never fully trust. But I say that, but then I'm also the first one that would like to just make a web app and then put it in Capacitor or something and ship it as a mobile app. So I'm definitely guilty. But okay, so some kind of cross-platform UI. I've just man, people go for this over and over and over. Like let's find some kind of universal UI, and it ends up being this lowest common denominator thing. But how do you like it? Have you used this before?
I've not used it yet. I've been watching tutorials and reading up on it to prepare myself for when I do need to. Because essentially, what I can do is the components you've just seen in my source code and pages and things, I can port them over, change nothing about them whatsoever, port them in, and then I can then start writing native code for specific devices. So they've I think the one example they used was iOS and on Android, the loading spinner. They're both called completely different things. They created a amalgamation of it. You call whatever the amalgamation's called, and it'll just be whichever one it is on the native device. So they've done a lot towards that kind of thing. But yeah, it's what's coming next for me. I know that's going to be the next thing, but I just want to get something out there, even if it is something that people can install just as a PWA. That's better than not having a product at all.
I think shipping is the most important thing that any of us can learn to do, regardless of platform or how polished it is or whatever. Just keep shipping. That's my mantra.
I just see the comments. There's another Blazor PocketBased fan. Hey.
Yeah. I was looking at the comments. So we got two Brians. It looks like. Oh no, is that Brian? Yeah, that's Brian. So yeah, one says happy to see or glad to hear there's another Blazor fan, and then the other Brian says he's wondering how much of a tool, a web stack's popularity is based on the YouTube content available for it.
He's not
That's
wrong.
An interesting question. I kind of wonder, a little bit of a chicken and egg type of situation, right? You know? Although, Brian, we're going to find out the answer to your question, because my whole mission with this channel is to create and promote a new web stack. Maybe I'll call it Pocket Stack or something like that. But it's all the Pocket-based ecosystem stuff. And by now I have at least two. I have many open source projects relating to Pocket-based, but I've got a couple in particular that I think will really help people ship faster. So we'll see what happens with it, because it doesn't use any of the existing technologies other than like a few JavaScript libraries,
Yeah, you're laying the track.
I'm laying the track. So we're going to see what happens with that. And I'm trying to figure out what to do overall with the channel. Am I talking to Pocket-based developers, or am I talking to just sort of any curious developer who may not have even heard of Pocket-based, but maybe they're just kind of interested in like a new, fresh approach to web design or creating apps or something like that. So I'm trying to figure out who my avatar is. But anyway, to answer your question, Brian, we will find out. Thanks.
One particular good one, if anyone is interested in .NET stuff, Patrick God. I think he's German. I might be wrong in that, but Patrick God, he's got some fantastic tutorials on Blazor stuff.
How do you,
God?
Patrick Goddard?
God.
DOD.
Yeah,
okay.
God. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, Patrick God?
Yep, Patrick God.
Okay, let's see here. This guy, .NET Web Academy?
It's on YouTube. The YouTube channels. The videos.
Got it here. Patrick God.
Yeah, that's it.
Hey, friends, welcome.
Yeah, that's God right there. Oh,
yeah,
I didn't
know. In the .NET world, yeah, apparently so. He's great, and he's got hundreds of videos. Any particular thing that you would be interested in working out how to do, he's got videos on it. Doesn't have any Pocket-based stuff, tell you that.
Are they still doing Link?
Yeah,
wow.
Link's still a thing. Yeah,
I figured for sure that would have been sunset at some point. Okay, so Link is still happening. Is ASP.NET still a thing, or in some
they're still being supported. They're still being supported, but the kind of major thing that happened was with the release of what they called .NET Core to begin with. They've now rebranded it again. It's classic Microsoft. They can't work out what they want to call something. It's now .NET, or it literally is just .NET. Has a release cycle of every 2 years for LTS versions. .NET 6 has just gone out of long-term support. .NET 7 was sunsetted 6 months ago. .NET 9 is just released. .NET 10 will be out next November, and it's a new thing for Microsoft, and I think they're still finding their feet with it. There's a lot of people in the .NET community that are not happy with it, because every 2 years you've got to upgrade everything, because you can't have code that's not on the long-term support, security reasons, and all that.
But I'm looking at the .NET release history right now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I said 20 years ago. So yeah, 2005. .NET 2.0 had just come out. That's when I bailed out. It was VS 2005, and yeah, they've kept rolling. So where are
I was
we?
still in high school.
Yeah, where are we now? Oh, it only goes up to 2022. Okay.
Yeah. So then, if you were to then look at so that's .NET Framework.
Mm-hmm.
That's they support that. I don't think they release anything new for it anymore. I don't know because I don't really use it anymore. .NET, it'll be there somewhere.
Oh, wait, that's it.
That's it.
That's
Classic Microsoft. Two things named the same thing that are not the same.
Oh, wait a minute. This is okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's not the same thing.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, because .NET went. Well, there used to be. I don't know if there's still is, but there used to be like an open source. What was it called? Mono or something like that. Way back, there was like an open source.
It rings a bell.
Implementation. Yeah, but this is different. So this is a different open source.
Yeah, this is different.
All right. Yeah, interesting. Okay. Well, thanks for catching me up a little bit on .NET.
It's all right.
It's
been a bit of a ride.
They even started over at version 1 again. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. All right. So now we're up to what? We're on 9 right now. Okay.
We're on 9. And 9's not a long-term support, so it's short-term support. .NET 10 will be the next one with long-term support. But those diaries all built in .NET 9, so I moved that over. I actually started the project in .NET 8 because I started in October before .NET 9 was fully released because I didn't want to use any of the release candidates. I just thought I'll wait for it to come out. I upgraded everything to .NET 9. It was fine. It is at the moment. The last couple of releases, it is as much as just updating your packages, and that's it. There might be some breaking changes, but they are few and far between. The jumps from .NET 5 to .NET 6, they were bigger. The jumps now are much easier.
Yeah, Marco confirms it was called Mono. Brian says the number one audience is web application developers who are looking at traditional stacks like Firebase and Supabase, but they don't have a pile of code written already. Yeah, I agree with that, Brian. And then the other Brian, we got to come up with different nicknames for these guys. Brian the Younger, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
Brian of the Lowlands. I don't know. He says he works on the business side at Microsoft and that upgrading internally is painful as well.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. So, okay. But .NET's where you're at right now. That's what you're using at work. So that's what you're using on the side hustle. Let's kind of get more into the side hustle because that's actually another part I'm really curious about. I mean, I love talking code, but like you're a founder here. You've built something. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, I'll give you the context. So whether or not anyone knows, there in the last few years there's been a boom in weight loss medication. Specifically for people with diabetes, but anyone that wants to lose weight, could get a private prescription. If their BMI is high enough, you can privately purchase it yourself. In the UK, they're about to make it so that you can have it on the NHS for free.
You're talking about like Ozempic and stuff like that?
So yes. They're all GLP-1 medications. So they all roughly do the same thing. They trick your body. They produce a hormone that your body might not be producing naturally, that then helps you to lose weight. I've been on it. I've been on Mounjaro, which I think in the US is Zepbound. Different product names. I've been on it since June, and I've lost 4.5 stone in that time. And I think what's that in freezing units?
I was just gonna ask stone to pounds.
It's the same thing. Like stone and pounds is the same unit in the UK, so it's 63 pounds.
63. You're down 63 pounds, man. Okay, so I started GLP-1, and I'm only down like 10 pounds or something like that. 63 is incredible.
Yeah. So it's been I've done it before. I've lost weight before, not this fast, and not being able to have as much energy as I have had. And kind of what happened is, in that time I've looked at the market and looked what's around, and there is an app on the app stores that does do this, but there's no websites that do it. So I thought, okay, well I'll do that. And then I thought, okay, but wouldn't it be cool if it was the PWA and people could install it? And there's that whole side of it. So yeah, it just spiraled. I started it in October. I put together a couple of little graphs, because you can calculate the strengths. You can see it on the screenshot there. You can see the strengths going up and down like scissoring as the half you inject, and then the half-life of the drug dissipates over a period of time, and then you inject again and your rates go back up and it becomes a bit stronger in your system, that kind of thing. Very simple calculation, but you can produce these wonderful looking graphs, and then you can have, so what the app does is it does that, and it shows your weight loss and then your the different days you've injected compared to your weight loss, and provides a bunch of stats around that. But other than that, that's basically what it does. User account system, you can add your height and your goal weight, and then it will spit out things like your BMI, how long it will take based on your current track, how long it will take for you to get to your goal weight, that kind of thing.
So let's talk GLP-1 for a little bit here.
Yep. Yeah, so fine.
You mentioned maybe it's different in the UK. Like I was able to get it online here. Like it just gets delivered to me.
Yeah, you can here. Yep.
Okay. And there's a guy over there, Johan somebody. He's been on a lot of the popular podcasts. He's an author, and he just did a deep dive book into GLP-1. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. I haven't. I know who he's been on some of the UK TV channels. I know who you're on about.
Yeah. What's his name? He was on. Oh man, there was a really good podcast. I don't know the guy's name. He's a black gentleman. He reminds me a lot of like Modern Wisdom. He has that kind of vibe to his podcast. Yeah. I don't know what his name is, but Johan was on that one, and that was a great episode. I sent that. What's that?
It was Diary of a CEO.
Yes.
It might be him. Yeah.
Let's see here.
Yeah.
Diary of a CEO. Let's find the Johan episode. Yeah, this one. They're lying to you about the side effects of Ozempic right here.
Yeah.
So this is a 2.5 hour long podcast here. It'll tell everybody anything you want to know about GLP-1. But I had already been taking it when I saw this, but I was kind of reaffirmed that it would be a good thing for me, that I would be a good candidate for it.
Yeah.
And Marco in the chat was just asking, are there have I experienced any side effects, or have you? I personally really haven't. Maybe a little nausea at times.
Yep.
But I think that's got more to do with like the dosage, right? Which kind of goes back to your app. And I've decided recently to back off. I was at 16 units. Now I think I'm going to go back to like 10 or 8, because 16 was just too taxing on my body. I didn't like it. Mm-hmm. And it was already, curbing my hunger and everything, like I'm just not as hungry as I used to be. That's really all.
It's exactly the same for me.
Yeah,
exactly the same.
So what's it been like for you?
This is interesting then. Pretty much exactly the same. So side effects wise, I occasionally get nausea really early in the mornings, weirdly enough. 4:00 in the morning, I'll just get a wave of nausea, and then it'll just go. Like as quick as it comes, it goes. I haven't actually been sick on it yet. My fiance's on it too, and she has been sick a few times, but she used to be sick, more often, nauseous and throw up more often than I ever did anyway. So not really a change. So yeah, occasionally because I'm on the highest strength now, 15 milligrams, if I eat badly the next day, and by badly I mean high carbs, a big meal, it'll just sit in my stomach and it will stay there and essentially start to ferment. You get sulfur burps. It all just comes out of your mouth.
That is one of the things I've noticed. Yeah. More burps for sure. and
that's some of that self-inflicted. So the side effects have been nothing in comparison to the effects of what it's done. Right? They are without I'm not trying to shill people to get on medical drugs, but they truly are wonder drugs. Like
Yeah, it's
it's
crazy.
insane.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
look at this.
yeah,
I was just at, do you have Burger King out there? I don't know.
yeah. We got Burger King. Yeah, yeah.
I don't even want the rest of these. And like, my new reaction to food is I just eat some and then
Meh,
I set it aside when I'm
meh.
done.
Yeah,
I'm just not
yeah.
interested.
The crazy thing for me was day one, the lowest dose you can have of the one I'm on, Manjaro or Zepbound. Day one, I went downstairs because I work from home. I went downstairs to my kitchen cupboard. In there is usually all sorts of treats, crisps, snacks, and I would normally go for something. I habitually went down there and looked. I opened the cupboard. I shut the cupboard. I walked
Yeah.
away with nothing, and that never happens. So, that it was day one that I was like, "Wow, this is strange,"
Yes.
and it's been more of the same since.
I've had the identical experience too. That muscle memory, that habit. I'll
Yep.
I'll go to the grocery store and I'll walk down the snack aisle thinking
Yep.
I'm going to get something, and then I look at everything and none of it really
Nah.
calls to me anymore.
Yeah, yeah. So
And
it's kind of go on.
Oh, well, just following up with Marco's question, so just so you're hearing it, Marco, it's not an aversion like, oh, that, like, thinking of that food makes me sick. It doesn't feel like that at
No.
all. It just feels like
No.
I don't want it right now. And
You just
sometimes
don't
I
care.
do, and then I'll have a cookie or a crisp or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll have a few, and then I'll be done, and I'll push the rest
Yeah.
away. It's really, I think it changes you psychologically too.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I my nickname from friends and, my fiance's friends and my friends, human dustbin, because I would just polish off everything. Even if it wasn't my plate, I would have been, you're finishing that. Not anymore. I don't care. I do not care. It's crazy. It really is. And it was around October time that I just thought, I could build something that does this. I want to build something that I want to track things with, and I want it to be able to look the kind of way I want it to look, and have features that these other ones don't have. And I think at the time there's one on the App Store at the moment. I think it's called Shotzi. It wasn't on Android at the time, and I've got an Android phone, so I thought, oh well, I'll just build one on my own. It has come out on Android since, and I used it for a bit for some inspiration. But yeah. It's kind of the thing that's given me this passion to build something outside of my day to day.
Yeah. So then, are you playing with doses and frequency of doses? Does your app help you do that, or do you just stick with the recommended dose?
So that's one of the things that I'm gonna build. I'm gonna build the ability for you to have custom shot levels. At the moment, I'm building it so that you can you select the drug that you're on when you create your account and you sign in for the first time, and then other competing ones just let you go, okay, I'm going to do a shot of this and I'm going to do a shot of that, and all of the concentrations get combined, and it's really weird experience. I'm going to make it so that you have one specific drug that you're on, and then everything that you see is tailored to that specific thing. So I'll know based on which market you're in. If you pick Zepbound only ever comes in one type of injector, meaning that every injection is 0.5 milliliters. So you can then track your total volume of what you've injected over the entire time you've been on the drug, things like that.
Right.
So yeah, it's just interesting little things like that you might not even think about that we can have the app show. So you know how much in milligrams you've had over the whole time, how much volume you've injected. The difficult thing that I'm wrestling with is what things to hide behind a paywall. I'm sure it's something that people have all the time, but this is the first time I've ever encountered it. So there's a few things that I'm, stats that I'm going, okay, well that's a premium feature. I'm going to hide that, and you need to either pay monthly or a one time payment, because I think giving people the flexibility to pick is probably the best option.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a growing trend out there. People are moving to hard paywalls where you load the app and it takes you through, not necessarily lengthy, but a thorough onboarding process that helps you understand the value of what's being done. It'll ask you a bunch of questions, configure your profile, that kind of stuff. But then at the end of it, you hit a wall and it says, okay, $3.99 a month or whatever it is, or, one-time payment. And a lot of people are saying that it's working better for them than freemium. They're saying, especially lifetime deals as well. They're saying a hard paywall with a lifetime deal, it gets people invested enough to understand the value and to consider the value for themselves. And then, you can still give them a 7 or 30-day trial or whatever you want to do. But having that conversation up front of like, okay, well, if you're going to use this is the value that I'm presenting, and you got to decide whether that's worth it to you or not. There seems to be a growing concern for that. I don't like it from a consumer standpoint. I really don't like those apps that just hit you with a hard paywall after you've gone through the whole sign up process. But on the other hand, there is some growing evidence that freemium is broken. So I'm running that experiment right now on Pocket Host.
Yeah, I've been following it very closely.
Yeah, we moved to a hard paywall, and I've had a couple people ask, hey, I want a free instance for some kind of reason. And the reasons they give are not super compelling to me. One person asked if there could be free instances for students for a semester-long project. And it's like, well, I mean, you can just run PocketBased. You don't need Pocket Host at all.
Run it locally.
Yeah, so that wasn't super compelling. Another guy DM'd me, and he just literally said, I don't want to pay for your service. I liked it better when it was free. And it was like, well, okay. Again, not super convincing, but I haven't noticed usage going down or anything like that. So I'm not sure. I don't know if it'll stay that way or not, but I know a lot of people are looking in that direction of a hard paywall. Not that that's necessarily right for your app, but it comes up a lot. One thing I'm curious about your app, you said so the day you take the injection, it's the dose is the strongest it will be, and then it tapers off again, right?
Well, ironically, no. There's a time to max on all of the drugs where it reaches peak concentration later than when you inject. So it's actually there's a time lag. It depends on the drug. I've averaged it because and then I've averaged it, and then I've called the strengths an estimation, and I'll be upfront about the fact that it's an estimation on this. If you think that's wrong, contact me. I don't think it's right picking the maximum that it could possibly be, and I don't think it's fair picking the shortest time it could be, because everyone's body's different. But it's I think I've got it. I have it here somewhere. Which one are you on, by the way? Is it?
I think it's not Ozempic. It's a GLP-1. Did it concentrate? Not concentrate.
Right.
What am I trying to? I'd have to look it up.
Yeah.
But anyway. Well, it's interesting you say. So, are you talking like days later it reaches maximum efficacy?
Some can be 36 hours later, 24 hours later. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's interesting, because I've noticed that pattern where it's a day or two later when I
Mm-hmm.
really like when we were talking about nausea or something, or just kind of
Yep.
lethargy or whatever I'm feeling. It hits a couple days later.
Yep. Yeah. So one of the things I want to add is, so you've got that scissor graph. I think you probably saw it in that is in that screenshot there. So the time that you inject is actually is is when that scissor line reaches the trough, the lowest point, and then you inject, and then you see that it rises slightly. Well, it rises fast, but it rises over a period of time, and it's not a vertical line.
Yeah, I'm trying to look here at
Yeah.
what the thing was I ordered. I started out with like a bunch of shit, and I've just kind of like narrowed it down to just the GLP stuff. But see, I think they
So
okay
so
GLP.
does that come in a vial that then you extract it
Yeah,
and yeah, right. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere in here it says what it is though. I'm looking for certificate of analysis. Maybe is it in here? No, it's like a GLP compound or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Its base ingredient will be
compounded
probably
semaglutide. There it
yeah.
is.
So that's the exact same ingredient as Wegovy and Ozempic. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
So the app will let you, if you want to pick that over the others, you could pick that, and it would then offer you, okay, well, are you doing have you got a single injector pen? Have you got a multi injector pen, or have you got a vial? You pick the one you want, and then based on that, presumably you're injecting a specific volume every time, but you can play around with that volume, and I think I'll add that as a feature where you can play with that. All it'll do is make the calculation change based on all we do is take the number of what you injected and then run it through the calculation. It's maybe about 15 lines of code.
Yeah, that
And
would
then
be for me. That would be an immediate need because mine came with instructions where I start out at I think 4 units for 4 weeks, then it's 8 units for 4 weeks,
yeah,
16 units for
yeah,
4 weeks. That's when my body started reacting kind of negatively. Was at 16 because then they wanted me to double it again to 32 and eventually I think get up to 50. And
mm-hmm,
I told him like I don't think I'm going to do that because it's
yeah,
like it's working fine right now, but I just feel
yeah,
like doubling it again would make me sick. But I would need some way in the app to like say what my dose is, and especially because they said, oh, if 16 is not working, you don't have to go back down to 8. You can go to 10 or
yep,
12. You can try
yep,
things in between. So for me, I think that would come up right away.
yep. Cool. Well, that was one of the ones I was debating of putting behind the paywall is custom doses.
Ooh, yeah, that could be one.
And so with that scissor graph, you've got the the solid line, the solid area graph is your past history. One of the things I was going to put behind it was it then shows you a dashed line as it goes off into the future. I think if you scroll down, it might show you that on the screenshot of the no, maybe not on that one.
Well, we've got the other one here. This one here.
Yes, if you would go to that, yeah, that'd show you. If you scroll down on that one, yeah, dashed line, there we go.
Oh,
So on that
here.
screenshot on the right there, yeah, if you were to open that image, blow that image up, I think.
Let's check it out. Yeah, there we
Yeah,
go.
there you go. So see the dashed line. The dashed line is the future on what's going to happen, and then you've got that line, the vertical line of this is where you are now, this is today, or right now, and then the dashed line is where it's going to go, where it's going to peak, and then where it's going to go from then onwards.
I see. I see. That's cool.
Mm.
Yeah, I
And
like
then
this
the
thing.
screenshot on the screenshot on the left shows you the progress chart of your weight dropping against the different shots, injections, and you probably can't see it because it's tiny, but the little labels and the coloured labels are the different strengths, so you can chart that journey.
Oh, right. Yeah, I see. Like, yeah, 12 milligrams. What is
Yeah,
that? 15
twelve point
milligrams.
five,
Yeah.
15. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. So okay, and now we did jump over to your. This is your preview. So you're doing a static generated site here on Cloudflare pages, and
So this is the actual WASM application. This is it.
right.
So
Let's
when you
see how
if you hit
WASM it
that
is
refresh
here.
button, you see that load time.
Yeah. I mean, it's instant. Yeah.
Because you've already got the binary on your machine. It's on there already. I think it's 1.5 meg, the whole thing.
Yeah, let's see. So it's probably this WebAssembly one, right? Is this?
That's the one. That's the one.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's not WASM though. I don't think it
That'll be
is.
the interpreter for Blazor.
Yeah, right. So I wonder where
The WASM binary is probably in one of the many tabs that Chrome has that you can.
Yeah, but where's the actual WASM
application
code
tab.
that it builds? I'm
not entirely sure.
Yeah, interesting because Mudblazer
runs it all through that.
This is just that's just a stock library. Mudblazer extensions, that's probably a stock library too. Yeah, I mean
those are the visual components.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so the other way to find out here, let's see what the network loads here.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry,
I'm
just curious about
this
kind of thing. So we've got
.NET. There it is.
Where? Oh, this .NET runtime one.
.NET JS, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the. Okay. Yeah. Let's see what's in here. All right, that's just JavaScript. These are all just JavaScript. I was looking for like a WebAssembly file of some kind, like a compiled file, but it doesn't matter. It's fine. I can look at it later. Okay, so this is a preview of your web app. So like, will this work?
Yeah, all of that works. Yeah, you could sign up for an account.
Okay, let me do it. I'll go then at Pocket Host and pick an ultra secure password. Oh, wait a minute.
Too secure.
It's too secure. 40 characters. I got to back it down. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we'll do 30 characters. I agree to your terms of service. Don't put me in a human centipede or anything like that. Okay, cool. So I signed up, but the app isn't live yet, right? Like
you could keep going.
Oh, I can? Okay, let me try logging in then.
Yeah, you need to go to your email and there'll be an auth link to bring you back here.
Oh, really? Okay, hold on. Let me get my email out then.
That's just to activate your account.
Verify your dose diary. Okay, verify your email. All right, that's been done.
So you should be able to sign in.
Yeah, it's cool. And just so everybody can see, I'm going to show this on the full cam for a minute here. On the oh man, it's not focusing. Come on, focus. It's not doing it. Yeah, hold on here. I'll turn off the background for a minute. Okay, yeah. So right here, I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but there's like, oh, there we go. There's that little prompt to install the PWA. So that's pretty cool. I like that. Yeah, man. So that's
have something in code to check that that's happened, and then there'll be a menu item that appears to prompt you to click it again, and then the prompt reappears.
Yeah. So I just gave up my here. Where's my password history? Wait, that's September. Maybe is it this one? 326. Yeah, I think this was my password. I didn't think to save the password. Okay, here we go. Yeah, all right. I'll save it this time. I'll call it.
So there's a few things that are broken that I need to tidy up, but like you should be able to keep going. You pick your unit of measure, probably pounds by the.
Oh yeah, right. For me, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
And
I'm
then
doing
you pick.
semaglutide.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Profile saved. Good.
Right. So you're actually on an old build. You'll want to switch build. If you just get rid of the subdomain
Huh?
at the beginning of the link,
Yep.
you
Just
get rid of that.
dosediary.app.
Yeah, that should be the current
Okay. I'm
master
guessing I'll
branch.
probably have to log in again here.
Yeah, it won't allow you to do it across.
Right. Cool. Okay. So add an injection to see stats. Okay. So like I injected last Wednesday
You found a
around,
bug.
what's that?
You found a bug.
I
So
did?
yeah. So what was meant to happen was you meant to go to the URL of, and you'll probably need to do this to make it work. But that is a good bug, and thank you for spotting it. Go to at the end of the URL /. If you were to go to home and then hit enter, I reckon it would handle it.
Okay. So here we are back at the homepage. Page is reloaded. Yep.
Right, there we go. Top right hand corner, the profile's loaded. If you open the profile, the account.
Yep. You want me to go profile?
And then profile, yeah.
All right.
And then edit profile.
Oh, edit. Okay.
Oh, you picked the drug. No, you did that. You did that.
Oh, yeah.
Take it back. Take it back. 100% take it back. You didn't find a bug.
Okay. Yeah.
Fine. So you can set your height and your where you want to get to.
My height in.
There's a slider. If you open the slider, I think it'll.
There's a slider. Oh, show height weight slider. Okay. Let's see. Okay, yeah, this'll help me because I do not know how many centimeters tall I am, but on a good day I'm 5'9".
I thought I'd just make it do both. Yeah.
Yeah, on a good day I'm 5'9", so we'll put that in. Goal weight. Okay,
I think goal weight is broken, but you can try putting it in there.
Yeah, we'll try 180. Yep. Well, I don't know. Did that save?
Oh no,
yeah,
it went in.
That saved.
Good.
Okay. Good deal.
There's dark mode if you want to switch to dark mode. There's avatars through Gravatar.
Yeah. I guess my Pocket Host IO email doesn't, but this Gravatar does. So what do I do? Share this? Do I go share?
It should just pull it in, but that might also be a bug.
Let's go. Like this?
It should just already pull that one in. I don't know why it's not. I think it's just a bug. Yeah.
Okay, wait a minute here. Okay, wait. I'm on Gravatar right now. So let me get off.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no. It took me over to Gravatar. I gotta go back.
I should probably make it open a new tab. Really.
Yeah. Let me see here. Did it pull it in? No. Avatars by Gravatar. Okay. Update avatar. So I'll pop open a new window here myself. Yeah. So see, it's linked to a different email address. That's the issue for me.
That'll be it. That'll be the reason.
I don't think I have my Pocket Host IO email address on here. Verified accounts? No. Avatars, add email. Yeah, let me go Ben at pockethost.io. We'll add that email. Okay, finish. I'm just curious if this works.
I think it might do. I think you might have to refresh the page or go to it might have to be a hard refresh.
Yeah, it says it's okay. Confirm your email. This is my Gravatar thing.
Yeah.
Edit my profile. Enter my email address. I don't know what it's doing now. This is really beside the point. But I just wanted to see if it would work because I just added Gravatars a while ago to Pocket Host and mine was
That's
already.
where I got the inspiration to add it to mine. I just thought, it's much easier than actually making users upload their own images, and then I don't have to manage them.
Oh, really? So you saw me do that, and that's why you did it?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I saw that button. I was like, I'm going to do exactly the same thing.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So now the email is in there. It's got Pocket Host in there now. So
Cool. So you'd probably be able to refresh it then,
yeah, we'll
and it
try.
should bring it in.
We'll try. Oh man, it still didn't. Let's see, update avatar on Gravatar. Yeah, I mean, I definitely have been at Pocket Host IO in there now, but
If you pick that one though, can you set a different picture for each one, or does it apply to all of them?
That's a good question. Let's go see. So avatars. So for Pocket Host IO, oh, no image selected. Okay, I'll do my jujitsu
So the default
one.
image, I override the default image to the one of the little person.
Yeah. So I just did my jujitsu one. Yeah. Okay. So how come it doesn't? I don't know. I picked it. Avatar updated. May take a few minutes to appear everywhere. All right. So maybe it will work eventually. It just might take some time. Yeah, I kind of took the shortcut there too on Pocket Host as far as avatars go. Like I could have. Oh, the profile's not loading here.
Home.
Oh, okay. No, we're back.
There we go.
Okay, so
you've got dark mode there as well. You can switch between light and dark mode if you wanted to do that.
Where's that?
Down the bottom with next to personalization.
Oh, light mode active. Yeah. I expected that to be like up in the corner by the little avatar
I was
thing.
debating whether or not I had to put it back up there or down next to in the footer or something, but
yeah. Oh, very very nice. So you got the responsive site worked out as well. So all right, so now I want to try adding that injection. So the last injection I took was on the 22nd. It was this is fun. It was around 8, we'll say 8:30. And the dosage I took, see, now here we go. I don't know. I don't know how much a milligram is on the little syringes I have.
Yeah.
Would four units be would that be like point 4?
Depends on the strength of the. I think it depends on the strength of the vial.
Yeah. Our little syringes back here. Yeah. So
But this is good. This is good knowledge because in the UK, buying the vials like that isn't a thing. So I don't know what I don't know.
Really?
I've been going off research on on Reddit on the different communities that are on there and finding out what people, you just look at pictures, you can see what they're they've got a picture of a pen and that roughly works out in what we have here. So okay, I can make it do. I can copy that.
Yeah.
But the generic stuff where you can just buy it in a vial and use that. I mean, great. I think that's it's significantly cheaper than buying the branded stuff.
Well, let me show you what they have here. Brian the Younger asks, "Are you using Mudblazer primarily?"
Yes, I am. Yeah, pretty much exclusively.
So, it comes in these little like styrofoam things that I keep them in the refrigerator, and it's these little vials. Mm-hmm. And this vial contains 5 milligrams or 2 milliliters. And then these syringes are 1 milliliter syringes.
Yep.
So if I take 4 units of this, that's not 0.4. That's something much less than. Well, but now you've got milligrams here. Okay, so how do I? Okay,
yes.
so this thing says, the instructions on this says inject 8 units once a week. 8 units is 0.2 milligrams. Okay.
So the
but this is in milliliters. I don't understand milligrams to milliliters.
Yeah.
Now I don't even know if I'm taking the right amount. Okay. Wait a minute. How do we do this? What? So this syringe says milliliters.
Yeah. So the way I do it is it's with an auto injector pen. So you just twist the plunger and then it dispenses a certain amount. But I would say the way that I have encountered it when I've had to extract because the pen's broken or whatever, 0.5 milliliters is the same as whatever the dose is, the strength of the fluid. So if the fluid is 5 milligrams, 0.5 milliliters of it will be of that strength. Anything more will be higher, anything lower will be weaker.
Yeah.
So this is why custom is going to be useful.
Right. Well, so how I had understood it at first is, see, it has like 10, 20, 30 on here. When it said 8 units, I was drawing it up to the 8th marker, like before 10. Yeah. So it was just a tiny amount is where I started. And I thought that each one of these graduations was 1 unit, but now it says 8 units is 0.2 milligrams, but it's weird. The instructions here are in milligrams, but then the syringe is in milliliters. So I'm not sure what to do now.
The syringe is in units, but it's the same as milliliters. So the 60 of units is the same as 0.6 milliliters.
Oh, okay. So 8 units would be
0.8 milliliters.
But 0.8 that would be up to the 80 on this thing, right?
Yes, 0.8. That would be 0.8 milliliters.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot, right? That can't be right because these vials, well, maybe that is, I'm going to have to look into this. I think I might be taking like well under the dose. Oh, yeah, Brian, you want to know how much is in the vial? These vials contain 2 milliliters. 2 milliliters of fluid in this. So, so I'm a little confused about how much a unit is because I hear what you're saying, Piers. You're saying like it says 8 units is 0.2 milligrams. So 0.2, if milligrams and milliliters are the same, then 0.2 would be 20 on this thing, meaning I would draw the syringe back to 20.
Yeah, that's weak.
That's weak?
Well, it depends on the strength of the vial, I think.
Yeah. Well, oh, you mean like the strength of the solution? Yeah, because it says 2.5 milligrams per milliliter, and this is it's 5. There's 5 milligrams of semaglutide in this 2 milliliter vial. Okay, and I'm supposed to take 0.2 milligrams of it. Is that how this works?
That seems like not very much. But how long is the vial meant to last?
I think it's meant to last like a month. Well, at first it's going to last a lot longer because 8 is where you start, and then it goes to 16 units, and then it goes to 32 units, and then 48 units over a 3-month period, right? So, okay, I think I'm starting to understand here. So if this has 5 milligrams in it and my starting dose is 0.2 milligrams, then that would mean that there were 25 starting doses in one vial. But I only do that for 4 weeks, and then it doubles, and then it doubles again. Okay, I'm going to look into whether I've been, if anything, I've been like severely underdosing myself, and that's fine because it's been
better that than the other way around.
Yeah, well, and I mean, I've gotten to a point where I really can't tolerate any more anyway. But I'm gonna I am going to double check on this because it's like I think I may have misunderstood their instructions. Glad we talked about it.
Yeah, if you were to pick then the lowest dose, 2.5, and try and input that.
Yeah, that does seem like
0.25.
that's pretty much the same starting dose. Yeah, so we can say that. Actually, my most recent one was closer to 5.5. I mean,
yeah.
Okay, yeah,
So
and then
here's the thing: is you could go and add your historical ones. You could go and add your first ones if you remember when they were. So you can go back any time in the past on that calendar view.
I see. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So save. Okay, my weight. I actually did weigh myself just a couple days ago, right there, and I think I was 223. So we'll save that. And then let's see, what's the difference?
You can add another of either.
Oh, okay, got it. So if I record another injection, so let's go back a week before. I was I want
to do like a CSV import because I know a lot of people have got all of this in their own CSV files. Now, if I was to say, provide them with a templated CSV and that they matched it, they could then import everything really quickly. That's something I want to do.
Yeah. I don't know how many people have
going
those.
Through this and going, I had 7 months of stuff to add, and it was a pain in the arse.
And I know the week before I was 226, so I was down 3 pounds that 1 week. So okay, so now I've got a little bit of history in there. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, so there we go. Yeah, look at that, man. Cool. Yeah. Oh, and it's got a little zoom feature here, I see.
So the zoom is with a mouse. You won't get that on a phone. On a phone, you would get there would be a little marker that appears on the graph, and you'd get the different strength readouts on the graph. That's why there's the buttons underneath it, so you could move a month forward or back or change the view.
Yeah.
That's just a limitation of the graph tool. It doesn't have touch controls. Well, it does, but it doesn't have touch controls for panning.
You can't, like the pinch gestures don't work?
Yes, exactly, yeah. There's a settings modal there that if you press settings...
settings, yeah.
You can activate both of those, and they add things to the graph.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know if this is this a UK thing where... I noticed that your save and your cancel, the positions are reversed from...
They switched.
From what I'm used to seeing. Is that normal?
It might be. It might be just force of habit. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. I noticed it. I do know that.
Yeah, I do know that I have a lot of US. I've got about 150, 200 people from the US in the wait list. Already, it's up to 380 or something now. It keeps climbing.
Yeah, well, we do have the. We're the champions of the obesity epidemic. Huh?
We're in close second place. Don't worry.
Well, this is cool. So, how close do you think you are to getting this, launched or like the MVP out there?
I reckon Feb. I reckon end of Feb.
Oh, okay.
I'm spending all of my time outside of work sorting this out, and at the moment it's mostly just bug fixes and just refinement. The majority of the main functionality is there. One of the pages I haven't done yet is where I think you'll be able to see it. If you were to go to your history, you then get a timeline view of all your history of what you've added, and you can go and bin things off or change them or add side effects, for a particular week, that kind of thing. It would show you where on your body you injected, because there's a drop down. I don't know if you saw it, that you can add notes or you can.
I did see that.
It's on the add injection page. Yeah.
Yeah. I did see that.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Okay. So talking premium features, I would probably...
I think you might see a couple of them. If you go on dashboard, you can see a couple that are locked out with text.
Well, let's see here. I don't see any lock. Oh, here's a lock. Unlock
There we go.
cumulative
Yeah, yeah.
dosage. Yeah. Yeah. Does your thing send push notifications when it's
It
time
will
to?
do. I want it to. It
Yeah.
can. I just haven't built it yet, and I was going to get PocketBased to do it.
Oh, you were. Somebody else was working on push. This guy in India. I'm trying to get him on the stream. His app went viral, and he sends out push notifications using some kind of Google FCM or something like that. Whatever Google's push service is.
Yep.
Google push service. It's FCF something, FM something. Yeah. Yeah, push notifications. Oh, it's FCM. Yeah, Firebase Cloud Messaging.
FCM.
That's what it is. Yeah, so he was using this. Is that what you're planning to do, or what's your plan?
Well, at the moment, the only real stat that I would really want people to know is a reminder that they should inject.
Mm-hmm.
And I could do another because the different drugs have got different like safe windows that they say, your safe window is opened or your safe window is closed, because on Manjaro, for example, you can inject safely 2 or 3 days after you injected previously. And then the window closes 4 days after you would have normally injected. And then they say, well, just skip a week. The best thing you could do is skip and come back, the next day that you would have normally done it. So I was going to do things with that. Probably won't be there for launch, but it'll be there. I want it there quite close after.
Yeah. A little reminder would help me. Right now, I just have a weekly alarm on my phone.
Yeah,
and that's good.
Yeah.
Except sometimes I do forget about it. After I cancel it. And so having something that kind of nudged me again and again, like, hey, you still haven't entered your dose for this week.
Yep.
And then I would want a way to snooze that. Like, I don't know how it's been for you, but sometimes I want to like, I don't feel well enough on the day that I'm supposed to take my next dose. So I might like wait a day or two.
Yeah, well, it's just like I said, you've got that safe window that it's completely fine for you to go, I don't want to do it today, I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah, something where you could snooze it and it would come back. Brian of the Islands is working out all the math for me. Thank you, Brian. I'll have to study that. So yeah, there are 5 grams per the 2 milliliter vial, 5 milligrams, and I'm supposed to take the 0.2 milligrams is the starting dose. So I'd have to. That would be 1/25 of 2 milliliters, whatever that turns out to be. But anyway.
So,
yeah.
There's things like the consistency score, the total volume, the total milligrams, all of those things that you could calculate them yourself, but you're probably not going to. I'll put it behind a paywall.
Yeah.
But things like, when you last injected and what strength it was that you last did, fine, that should be free. And maybe the push notifications things behind the paywall, but just having it on a widget on one of the screens, that's free.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. I've got my model at the moment is monthly, yearly, one-time payment. The one-time payment is the most.
Yep.
But it's only just a little bit more expensive than the yearly. And then the monthly is like something like $6, or it's £5.99. I think that's probably about $7.
Yeah. And for people that aren't up on pricing strategies and pricing pages, usually a couple of the options are just value anchor points, and you don't actually expect anyone to purchase that subscription level. Like if I use PocketHost as an example, we go to the pricing page. We've got the starter, which is $5 a month. We've got the unlimited Pro for $25 a month, and then we've got the lifetime for $359 once. Nobody's buying the $25 a month. They see the $5 a month. They go, okay, but I could be paying $25 a month. Well, geez, in 8 months I would have bought my whole lifetime subscription. So I might as well just
Yeah. So they're either buying one or the other.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, nobody's buying the middle one, even though that's the one highlighted that says best deal. It's kind of weird psychology, but it does. I have noticed that trend for people where they will upgrade from starter straight to lifetime. They will skip the one in the middle.
So one of the other things I've done, if you were to go back to the app, I'll in my PocketBased instance, I'll load it up now and I'll flick you over to what the premium account will look like. So if I add you, so set that over. So if you're a premium user, you're now a premium user.
Okay.
If you refresh. Were to, you probably have to completely refresh the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get the little thing next to your pictures come in. Hey.
It is.
So you get that little premium crown, which is I've used in the branding of the premium. You get the little, and if you click on your picture for the profile, you then get that.
Yeah, I like that crown. Maybe I'll add a crown.
Yeah, so I'm calling the free thing is the essentials. It's in the coffee cup. You've then got the monthly and the yearly, which is just premium, and then there's the VIP, which is you pay it once. You know, you get a little thing to acknowledge that you've done that. And if I flick you over to that,
okay,
you should be able to refresh it again.
Okay, and you don't have a pricing page yet, right? There we go. VIP.
Yeah, no, I've got that.
Oh,
yeah.
I must have.
If you were to, it should be in the list.
In the list,
probably won't. Yeah, you probably won't see it properly because I've just flagged you as a premium user.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay. Right here, pricing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But all of those, if I was to make you an Essentials user again, there's the pricing for all of them, and all of the links work to Lemon Squeezy. All of that's done. All of that's working. I've got to wait for Lemon Squeezy to finally approve my account. That's been 2 weeks now, and I've not heard a thing.
They just merged with Stripe, so they might be a little slammed.
There's a warning on there saying exactly that. But
they're good though.
You could install. You can install that as a PWA to your desktop, and it would
totally. So, and you're probably planning this already, but what would be intuitive to me as a new user here is to have little buttons that say unlock, right? That jump me over to the pricing page or something.
Yes.
Yes. I'm sure you're planning to do something like that. But
the lock icon will probably be clickable, or I'll make it so that it's obvious that that it takes you there. Yeah.
Yeah, I would make it stand out like a yellow button or something, some kind of a golden button, something that was obvious. And then, in terms of premium features, you said you're still kind of trying to figure out what the premium features would be. So like cumulative dosage, it's not immediately obvious to me, and maybe that's just I'm kind of a novice at all of this, but why would I want to know that? Yeah,
it's a good, fair question. I think it's just one of those value-added stats, like
just kind of stats.
How much liquid have you put into your body? I mean, mine, for example, something like 300 milliliters now. At some point that's going to roll over to liters, and liters is quite a lot of liquid.
That is, yeah. So Brian the Younger asks about compliance issues. You're peddling a health app here, right? And I did say, I saw down at the bottom, it says entertainment purposes only or education. Is that how you're getting around that, or do you have concerns?
Well, I have concern that they might not approve the thing on that, but I've been very clear that, there's nothing in there that's going to point people to buy anything, that it's advising people to do anything. It's entirely for just showing you statistics around estimated stats. And I'll have some links that take you to the actual medical documentation and all that kind of stuff, but yeah.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Well, in the United States, we have HIPAA, and actually, from what I understand, UK's privacy laws are even stricter than the United States for the most part. So
Yeah, and that's why I didn't even want to have a form that records your name.
right.
I've got email, and that's it. I'm not even recording your name or your date of birth. I don't care. Don't care about your gender, your sex. Not interested. I don't want to have that in the database. It doesn't really provide any value to me. I wouldn't be displaying it anywhere other than maybe on the profile page. And I mean, what's the point? And it's things like that you would have issues with privacy laws and people's medical data.
Well, and
So,
what you could do is build the features you want to build, submit it to the App Store. If they reject it and they're good enough to tell you why, you can make kind of like an App Store specific version where certain features are disabled in the mobile app. And then people can know that, the web app is less restrictive if they want some extra features. There are just some that aren't allowed in the App Store or whatever. Like, I think you could handle it that way. Something valuable to me, just having gone through that whole, dosing puzzle that we just did with my vials and stuff. Now I'm thinking people who have vials and have to measure out their own injections, maybe a tool where it's like, okay, how big is your syringe and what units are they? And how much is much is in your vial, and then actually visually showing like this is how much the dose should be based on what you told me. Just some kind of like picture representation that could be something. But in terms of like premium, I don't know. I'm kind of I'm a hard person to ask about premium features because I almost never go for any premium features.
Yeah. I mean, the thing I'm comparing myself against is the main other app, which is called Shotzi on both stores. I mentioned it earlier. They charge $7.99 for just one graph. Just the concentration graph. So see that concentration graph there, the blue lines. It's exactly the same thing that I'm offering. They charge $7.99 for just that. Nothing else. Everything else is free.
Yeah. Well, if these guys got into the App Store, you shouldn't have a problem getting in there.
Yeah.
Now, do they even have a web version? It doesn't even seem like they do.
No, this is precisely my angle. They don't. And from what I saw, one of the things that spurred me onto it was I was reading other people's Reddit comments, and they were just like, well, why can't I just pay a fixed amount and not have to be on subscription? I hate subscriptions. Okay, well, I'll offer it with a one-time payment. Why can't I do this? Why can't I do that? And I was like, well, I could do that, so why not?
Your app called me obese. I wasn't prepared for that.
But it shows you your target and where you're at.
So my target is still overweight? No, that's not right.
Yeah, apparently so.
That can't be right. Hold on. Let me adjust my target then. Okay, wait.
Just lower it a little bit.
My goal weight. Okay, maybe I should go 170. Man, at 170, I look like a UFC fighter. I'm telling you, because I've been there before.
Yeah.
I think
you went back.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Wait. Okay. I'm just going to do it this way. 170. Okay. Let's hope for the best here. Weight loss tracker. All right. That gets me into the healthy range. Good. That's
Yeah.
All right. So what do you think about, because you could, have you ever shipped something to the app stores?
No.
It can be challenging. And not a lot of helpful feedback from them. And I mean, we'll see what happens in your case, but you might kind of have like an alternate plan to soft launch with the PWA, for everybody that's on your waiting list, and just, tell them, hey, the app is coming when it comes. We're working on it. Because like I would say, I mean, why wait for?
Yeah, that's precisely my logic. You might as well just get something out there. That I know there are
Yeah,
people that want it. I'm in a WhatsApp group of 400 people, and they are clamoring for it. And I've kind of been developing in the open with that group,
that's cool.
as I go, asking them questions and getting feedback. And all of them, none of them are anything to do with the soft dev industry. So you are talking to customers,
Right.
pretty much directly. And yeah, I've worked out. I've got ratios on what they've said. Based on what they've seen already. Some of them will definitely pay for the one-time payment. I've 7 or 8 people have already said that they pay for that. So I've got some. You've got nothing until it's in the bank, but people are interested. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, right. So with Pocket Host, I started out with an initial round of 100 founder memberships, and I think
mhm.
I put it at like 199 or something like that. Um, and that was pretty early on. Like, I didn't really have a lot to offer them beyond you just have a lifetime, you have lifetime access to whatever this becomes, you
Yeah,
know, and
all
you
future
may,
new features, etc.
yeah, like you may find that you can pre-sell some of those lifetime memberships already. Yeah, just based on the app preview that you have. I mean, if you're
hmm
building in public and if you're willing to share the preview link with certain members or whatever,
That's
uh,
that. In a couple of weeks, I was going to be sharing it with some testers. Yeah,
yeah, like you might be able to pre-sell before this thing is even really live and active, and you could even tell them like, you know, the data may not be stable yet, right? Like I might have to wipe the database or do something else, and I'll try
yeah,
not to, but we're not live yet, but you are a founding member, and so you get access now while we're still
yep.
building it and testing it. I think some people would probably go for that. I'm curious, when you
I think
say
so.
that you're on a WhatsApp group, I mean, I'm kind of looking for ways. I'm trying to learn how people build their audiences and their support systems. So tell me what's going on WhatsApp. How did you find your way into that? What is the group?
It's just there's an influencer on Instagram who's set it up, and then my fiance follows him. I then joined and ended up becoming the group guru because I end up posting like a spreadsheet of the cheapest places you can get it in the UK and that kind of thing. And then people have always got questions, but then I was like, I'm going to build something. Is anyone interested in this? And shared a few like preview. I actually showed a few screenshots of like what the logo could possibly look like, and people voted on which logo they like the most. And WhatsApp's got all those tools that you can create a poll and you can just send it out to people. I mean, it's pretty chaotic because there's 400 people in there, and it's not all about this. But occasionally, I'll put in a comment saying, "Look, this is what I've just done. Here's some screenshots. Is this the right kind of thing? Is there anything that you could think of that I've not? That kind of thing." It's been
So how
pretty
did you find the
pretty.
group in the first place? I wouldn't know how to look for a group on WhatsApp.
No, yeah. It's my fiance with this influencer. He'd set the group up. She then shared the link, and I followed the same. I joined the same link. It was shared on Instagram.
So an influencer started it.
Yeah, the
That's
group. Yeah,
interesting. Yeah.
yeah,
Huh.
yeah.
Okay.
Because
Well,
he was on it too, and he's lost loads of weight. Um,
that's cool. That's cool.
yeah,
Yeah. So I find out so many times that people have unique circumstances that can't necessarily be replicated. Like, I mean, we can sit here saying somebody could go try to find a WhatsApp group, and kind of start building up a following there.
yeah. I stumbled on it.
Exactly. Right. So happy accidents are
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
I'm just going through the comments here. Yeah, Brian the Younger asked about health compliance, and then he was wondering where the backend is hosted. I think it's on Pocket Host, isn't it?
It's Pocket Host, yeah, yeah. I'm going to have 2 instances. I'm going to have the production instance and I have a test instance. And then I've got a local instance on one machine. That's the plan.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm feeling the pressure to make Pocket Host as stable as possible because
Yeah.
you're going to be launched on there. There are already a couple other people. The guy I just talked to, Vaughn from Heavy Paint, he was on a previous stream. I mean, his whole business is relying on Pocket Host as well. And so, yeah, we're out here. We're pirates, man,
No
trying
pressure.
something new and
Yeah.
rebels.
Yep.
So it's a lot of fun. Well, thanks for taking me through all of this. Is there
Pleasure.
anything else you wanted to show us before we shut
I think
down
that's
here?
it. The invite thing, I told you about the invite list. There's 300 and something people on there. I'm happy to post stuff in the Discord about how things are going. I'm absolutely happy to do that. There's an Instagram page that's also linked on that.
Yep, I just saw that too.
Yeah. So yeah, that's basically it. I've got a lot of tidying and bug fixing to do, but yeah, it's coming along.
Nice. Well, I mean, Piers, this is some amazing work you've been doing, and you've shown us another unique approach. Like, there's all kinds of ways to build this stuff, and
Yep.
With Vaughn from Heavy Paint, he wrote his front end all from scratch. It's frameworkless.
I saw you going through some of the source code, and it's just one long file.
Yeah, because I mean that's what made sense to him because he's not a developer, so getting into build chains and everything doesn't really work for him. So he just puts it all up. But it's like he got there and he was able to ship, and I love hearing the different ways people do that. So this has been an awesome talk, and please in Discord keep us up to date. Whenever you want to hop on the stream again, just let me know.
Happy to come back and let you know how I'm getting on.
Yeah, and we got some people in the chat today, so that was fun too. Normally,
it was good fun.
Yeah, normally it's an empty room when I'm streaming, and that's okay. I'm finding there's value to the streaming. Just imagining that somebody is watching it tends to keep me focused a little better. I don't go quite as deep down the rabbit holes when I am thinking about like keeping the conversation coherent for somebody who might be trying to learn while I'm coding. So it's all working out. But yeah, thank you so much. And let's keep updated.
Thank you, Ben.
All right,
it's gotten late here. It's midnight.
Ooh, okay, yeah. So I'm gonna stop the stream now. You hang on though. So I'll just say goodbye to everybody, and we'll see you in the next one.